Hello and welcome to episode 4. We'll go directly into the reading. I am reading this for the first time as well, so please be patient. When Kumbhaka takes place after Puraka, then the Shakti known as Shanti is experienced, and through the peace, the Bhairava consciousness is revealed. So we've got a few words to have a look at. Yeah, there's like 5 or 6 of them. I should have done this before, so what I can do is edit the video. So we go directly to the meaning. Okay, welcome back. I've googled the words. So if the first one we've got is Kumbhaka, is a yoga breathing technique that involves holding or retaining the breath for a short or long period of time. The word Kumbhaka comes from the Sanskrit word kumbha, which means pot, and refers to the torso as a container for breath. So this might be related to what I was describing in part 3, where you've got a little round ball. I guess that could be your pot. So let's focus on that. We'll keep that in mind. Now, Kumbhaka is a yoga breathing technique that involves holding and retaining the breath for a short or long period of time. So we'll do the short. I don't know how long is long, and I don't know what state we're going to be in to hold our breaths for a long time, whether it's good for us or not. So we'll try the shorter period. Now, what this is describing, stay with me. So the ball in part 3, as the breath is moving within that, and you're controlling it within that, so you've got your line and you've squeezed it down within that ball. We're now going to involves holding, or we're now going to, so as you allow it to be free. So we've got to part 3, you finished part 3, you're in this free zone where you're letting your breath, you hold moments of it. You hold it in that moment. And what that does, I suspect, we'll check this, is give you the consciousness of a moment in time that does not exist, or a slice of time. So you're in the infinite in no time, but you'll be conscious of it now. A yoga breathing technique, I'll just reread that. A yoga breathing technique that involves holding or retaining the breath for a short. So do the shorts. If you can get into that, it'll be good. And now let's go on to the next word and what we need to do. Puraka is a Sanskrit word that means inhalation. It is a part of yogic breathing, along with Kumbhaka, breath retention, and Raka, exhalation, and slow, silent, and deep inhalations through both nostrils, that is said to improve lung capacity. Sorry, I skipped some of the reading of that. It's words upon words, so I'm just going to quickly decipher what it's trying to say. Puraka is a Sanskrit word that means inhalation. It is part of the yogic. This is part of our thing. When Kumbhaka occurs, the Puraka, so the part of the yogic breathing, or Rachaka, and this must be similar, exhalation. Rasaka is a Sanskrit word that means exhalation. Is also the name of a type of yogic breathing. So this is type your breathing as well. So we don't have to focus on those 2 words. We still keep our focus on Kumbhaka. That is where we pause our breathing. So the consciousness of our brain has to kick in within number 3. That's a very, very cool exercise. What results we will have, I'm not so sure at all. This is going to be, I don't know, every time, every exercise, every number we've gone through, everyone just seems to be getting better. Rakchaka is a Sanskrit word that means exhalation. Oh, we don't need that. Shanta is a character in the Ramayana. She is the adoptive daughter of King. So when you go back to this first one, the Shakti, okay, the known as Shanta is experienced. Okay, we're going to go on power. So within the emptiness of part 3, what this is doing is taking it to a step further, which is adding part 3 and part 4. So this is this is definitely a dual one. The others were individual. So we're going to go to part 3. If you don't know part 3, go back to it. You're going to have to practice and get into that stage first. And then when you're in that stage, it's going to be a very flash moment. You need to pause your breathing. Okay, just pause it and try and be in that state and see what happens. Okay, we'll do that together. Take your time. Pause the video now. Pause the video now. It will be some time before I get into that state. So take your time as well. If it's a minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute, whichever you feel comfortable for you. But if you're taking too long and you're feeling that there's no results, revisit what I've said about how to do it. Focus on that. The second part comes automatically, actually. Just focus on these things in your mind. The feelings and what actually happens to you will slowly come automatically. Control your physical. Focus on that. Okay, thank you. We'll pause. Okay, thank you. Welcome back. I don't know of success or not on this. I felt something which is very interesting and experienced something actually. So let's have a look at what and whether we were going in the right direction. Please tell us your experiences. I'm going to tell you mine right now. So at one point I felt like I was floating, spinning, just not spinning fast, like really just turning and floating. There was no gravity for me, which was really nice. I was sitting with my legs crossed on a kind of a gaming chair. So that was my experience. So not very comfortable at all. And yet I still did not feel my body. And it was a floating experience. So if you had that or anything similar, it'll be great to hear that. I held my breath for, let's say, a couple of seconds, 2, 3, 5 seconds. I found that it was really hard to hold my breath for much longer. And when I came out of it, I felt that I was panting and I had to re-control myself and get myself back into that state again. So it does take a little bit. This one takes longer. You really have to do number 3 and number 4 at the same time. So number 3, think of it as you're doing number 3. Number 4, you're just holding your breath. That's it. There is nothing more to do than that. And the experience from that is fantastic. So give us your experience. There is obviously the feeling of peace. That is all there. There is no anger anymore. Whereas in number 3, there was a force. You could almost feel that force generating. Let's see. Peace, floating or weightlessness. Weightlessness is fantastic. I'm gonna try that again, like in my own time. That was one of them that I really enjoyed because it connected me direct. Like I felt physical. Number 3 on its own, I didn't feel human anymore, and I don't want that. Some of you might want to. Please go for it. Give it a try. But number 3 with number 4, now that's very nice. Let's have a look at why it works. Let's have a look at this, because this is news to me. Okay, what did I feel? How did I feel? Oh, but that's it's a simple answer. So once you're in the state of number 3, which is where you are timeless, you have no feeling of anything, you've taken everything out. Once you introduce consciousness by holding your breath, your consciousness is just aware of the body. It's not aware of anything else. It's not aware of its senses. So it's really just you inside floating around in your body. Okay, that's your soul, but it's a conscious soul now. It's attached. So, think of it as your first attachment to the world. It's a very beautiful experience. So that is the how and why. I am giving that a success. Oh, actually, I don't even know why I'm giving that a success. Let's go back. The Bhairava. Oh, yes. Through that peace, experience Shanta. Yeah, I'm going to give that a success. I will give that a success. I'll post this in the information. Any additional information? I wanted to stay there very long. I wanted to stay there very long. This one is the opposite of the absence of time of consciousness. Oh, one more thing, very important. You don't have to completely feel number 3. Get close. Number 3 is a bit difficult and you don't really want to stay there. So get close enough and simply hold your breath. You might fail 1 or 2 times, and same with me. Couple of times, failed. By about the 3rd time, and it'll only take you a minute or 2 if you're good enough. If you're struggling with number 3, go back, conquer that. I wanted to stay there very long. Yes, please. Additional info. Can we control it? Let's put a question there. Can we control what and where this soul can do? This is a good question. So at the moment, I'm floating inside a body. What can I do with it? We need to look at some of those. That's another experiment. Maybe add an additional episode, but that's going to be very interesting.